Alright, so this is going to be my walkthrough video on lesson 6, measures of spread. The number 1 is the video called statistical vocabulary that you can see in the agenda. So I'm going to start with number 2 here, and please let me know if you have questions and I will do my best to help you. So if we're looking at number 2, we're going to create a data set that has a median that's a whole number, and then a median that's 5.5. So median, remember, that's like when it's least to greatest. So I'm just going to go ahead and already make a data set that's least to greatest. And what do I know about a median is that odd number data sets always use a single number. And it could be a decimal number like 7.5. But since a odd number data set always uses a single number, I'm just going to make an odd number data set of 5 right here. So then I could say that the median is this number in the middle, which is a whole. Let's say if I wanted to make that into a median of 5.5, well, it's 6 right now. But I want to make it 5.5. So if I have a 6, how do I average it out into a 5.5? Well, I want to average it with a 5. So if I just had 4, 5, 6, 7, and really these don't matter as long as they're smaller than 5 and bigger than 6, they could easily just as well be negative 1,000, 5, 6, 7,000. This would create the same thing, where the outsides go away, and then I'm going to average the middle two, and get 5.5 as my median. So remember, the median is only a measure of like what is that middle number, but it doesn't really say how far apart all the other numbers are. So these are that's number 2. Let's look at number 3. So I'm just gonna grab 3 and 4 here. So create a data set with at least 5 numbers with a range of 15. So range is that's my least to greatest. So I'm just going to create the smallest number, let's just call it 1, and we know 15 away from that is 16, and then my other numbers just need to be between there. So here's a 2, here's a 12, here's a 10. And there we go. That's a range of 15. What about number 4? We want to make Ponchi thinks there are 2 different means, medians, and modes in a data set. Is that possible? So when we want to have multiple modes, I know that's possible. I could have a set like this where I have 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, where I'd say, oh, 4 and 5 are both modes. But have I ever had 2 means or two averages and 2 medians? No. It's impossible to say, oh yeah, in that class I have an 80% average and an 85% average at the same time for a solo taught class, right? So can't have multiple means, and you also can't have, I guess you could have 2 same medians, but you couldn't have 2 different medians. It's always going to be just that one number in the middle, or an average of the 2 numbers in the middle. Alright, let's move along to 5 and 6. So now we're going to start finding those mean, median, mode, and ranges. So if you looked at the second video, where I do this a couple times for examples, that's basically what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be doing the same thing 6 times in a row now. Well, 5, and then we're going to make our own. So I'm just going to list it out. Mean, median, mode, and range. So this first one, the mean, we're going to add them all up. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So if your numbers are big, use a calculator, whatever. 6, 10, 19, 25. So 25 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total terms. So that looks like it's about 3 and 4/7. So what's that? 5, 6? 14? Let's look at 4/7 in a calculator. 557, 3.57. Alright, what about my median? Well, first I would have to order from least to greatest, and thankfully, it already is. So I'm going to start just deleting numbers from the outsides. And I arrive at just 4 being my median. If you have a big data set and you don't want to do that, the way you would do it is I have 7 total terms. So if you take the 7th term and the 1st term, and we average those two, which term do we want? We want the 4th term. That's how we'll get our median. If we're looking for a mode, it's just going to be the term that shows up the most. So 4 shows up twice here. So 4 is the mode. And then lastly, we're going to do a range. We're going to figure out what's the least to greatest. So it's just 1 to 6, which is 5 is the range. Alright, let's do number 6 as well. Yeah, I guess I'll delete this part. This is a video only special. Alright. So now for number 6, the mean, same way, we're going to add them up. So there's 18 and 14, which makes 32. So my average is 8. So my mean is 8 right here. And then we're going to find a median. So for my median, I'm going to reorder them from least to greatest because they are not already. And then I want that, well, 1st plus 4th term divided by 2. That's my 2.5th term. So I don't want the 1st term or the 4th term. I want what's halfway between 5 and 9. I'm going to average them out and get a nice 7. For my mode, I would look for the number that shows up the most, and I would say there's no mode. No number shows up more than 1 time. And then for a range, we're going from 3 to 15. So our range is 12. So you could subtract to find that if you want. Alright, so there's 5 and 6. And I'm going to keep going.